Good morning, dear children. Welcome in the English class. Children, today we will be starting with a new chapter in literature. As you can see on the board, I have written chapter 8, Owls in the Family. Okay, Owls in the Family, and the writer of this story is Ruskin Bond. Now, everybody of you might have heard about Ruskin Bond. He is very famous for his stories, the creative stories, the fictional stories, and many illusions which he creates through his story is very popular, right? So we have one of the story written by him, and that is Owls in the Family, right children? So without wasting any time, let us start with the story part. Let us know what all things are in the story. Basically, I would like to tell you that grandfather, grandmother and a small child plays a very important role in this story, right? And the story is based upon the nature. Okay, nature in the sense here I am not talking about trees, mountains, no, rivers, etc. No, I am not talking about that. What I am trying to tell here is it is based on nature because the glimpse of natural things, that is trees, mango trees, owls, etc. are seen here, okay, in this story. So let us start with the story part, children. I request you to kindly switch to page number 108. Please come to page number 108 so that it is very easy for you as well as for me also in this understanding process of the story Owls in the Family. So let's start. One winter morning, grandfather and I found a baby spotted owlet by the veranda steps of our home in Dehradun in North India. So this story begins from which place? It is beginning from Dehradun. Okay, Dehradun, many of you might have heard the name Dehradun. It is in Uttarakhand and it is a very beautiful place. Okay, it is a very beautiful as well as a peaceful place, right? This place is very famous for the army area, right? Especially the Clement Town. There is a place named as Clement Town and it is very famous for the army personnel and army area. The training of many officers from OTA as well as IIM go there, and obviously for IMA, that is Indian Military Academy also. Here in Dehradun, if you go ahead, there is Mussoorie, which is also famous for what? For Labasna, that is Lal Bahadur Shastri Academy of Administration, right? So let's not discuss this, but let us come to this point that where the story started from. So here we can say that the story begins from which place? From Dehradun, that is situated in North India. That means that Dehradun is the northern part of India, right? So this place is hilly area, okay? It is a hilly area, it is in Uttarakhand, okay? So here the writer is saying that one day what happened was I and my grandfather spotted what? Spotted owlet. Now what is owlet? Here in the word meaning it is given baby owl. Okay, baby owl is known as what? Owlet. So they found a baby owlet. Where they found? On the steps of their veranda. So here children, as you can see this. Here you can see this is the baby owlet, and where is he sitting? It is sitting on the stairs, right? On the step of which place? Of the veranda of the house. Okay. When grandfather picked it up, the owlet hissed and clackened. Now this word, here we found a new word, and that is clackened, right? Or you can say clacked. Yes. When grandfather picked it up, the owlet hissed and clacked. Now clacked is basically a sound which is made a harsh kind of sound, okay? This sound is like not a pleasant sound. You cannot count it in a pleasant sound. You can, when a hen or when you touch a hen or when you touch any bird, there is a noise or a kind of hissy noise they make, okay? It may be because of the self-protection, also the self-defense, right? Which the owl or hen or any bird will make, okay? So here, when the grandfather tried picking up that owlet, it hissed and clacked its bill, but then meat and water settled down under my bed. So after getting meal of raw meat, it got comfortable. Who got comfortable? The owlet, and then it sat under the bag. Okay. Spotted owlets are small birds and they have none of the sinister appearance of larger owls. The owlet is not normally afraid of humans, nor it is strictly a night bird, but it prefers to stay at home during the day, as it is sometimes attacked by other birds who consider all owls are their enemies. Now see, many people in India, right? Many people in India believes in superstitions, right? Superstitions means that belief which is not a natural belief, right? Like Andhvishwas. In Hindi you have the word Andhvishwas. So there are many people who are very superstitious, who believe that keeping an owl in the house is not the sign of good. Okay, that means that it is not a positive sign. Okay, it may be that keeping that kind of a bird can bring some negative energy or negative things in the house. Many of people believe in all these things, but he is saying that the writer is saying that the owlet which was there in their family, right, that did not have that, or the people staying in the family, the writer himself, the grandfather also did not have that feeling for that owlet. This kind of feeling that it might be a kind of negative feeling, or just because this owlet is in the house, it will bring some negative effect in the house. So they were not superstitious, right? They were not believing this, right? And he also says that most of the owlets are just afraid to go out in the afternoon or in the noon time or in the morning, because they are afraid of bigger owls, or they are afraid of big predators who are very vigilant to attack on them, and they consider, who the owlet consider those predators or those animals as their enemies. So this is also one of the reasons. See, most of the people think that when an owl, mostly the owl, you can see the owl, the voice of the owl is heard in the night only, right? They just hiss, or they just make noise in the night time only. The reason behind this is they do not like coming out in the daylight. Okay, why do they do not come in the daylight? Because they are afraid of the enemies. Who are their enemies? Some big birds, some big animals, etc. But this is the natural thing. This is the scientific thing why owls do not prefer coming in the daylight. But for some people it is very superstitious. Some people are very superstitious and they agree to the point that owls do not come outside. Why? Because in daylight it is, positive energy is prevailing in the environment, and in night time it is considered that all the evil spirits and all these kinds of things are active in night. So people attach these things with the appearance of owlet in the owl or owlet in the night time, right? So they are just doing what? They are just merging these things together, and it becomes what? A superstition. So this is what the writer is trying to explain in this paragraph, that the only reason why the owls are not coming out in the daytime is because of the they consider that some enemies like big birds or big predators will attack on them. Okay, there is nothing like superstitions in it. The little owlet was quite happy under my bed. The following day we found a second baby owlet in almost the same spot of the veranda, and only then did we realize that where the rainwater pipe emerged through the roof, there was a rough sort of nest from which the birds had fallen. We took the second young owl to join the first and fed them both. So here, the next day, right? First day they found one owlet, and second day also they found another one, and it was where it was also at the same place, right? So here what the writer is saying, that I was very happy to see that owlet, and I placed that particular owlet with the first one. Okay, so basically then they came to know that from where exactly they are coming. Then it was thought that there on the roof a rainwater pipe emerged, and there was a rough kind of nest there, and these owlets are coming from that particular nest through that pipe only. Okay. When I went to bed, they were on the window ledge just inside the mosquito net, and later in the night their mother found them there. From outside she crooned and gurgled for a long time, and in the morning I found that she had left a mouse with its tail tucked through the netting. Obviously, she put no great trust in me as a foster parent. Now here you have two words, that is crooned and gurgled. Now what is the meaning of crooned and gurgled? It is make soft pleasant sound. Okay. Now here see, the writer is saying that in the night time the owlet sat very comfortably where on the window ledge. Okay, and they were making some kind of noise also. In the morning, right from outside, yes, so when the owlets were making the noise, the writer found that the mother, the mother of these owlet, okay, the mother owl came and she was making some kind of noise. She crooned and she gurgled for a long time, and in the morning, what exactly the writer saw is that there was a mouse with its tail in the mosquito net. Obviously, these birds are the birds which feed on meat. Okay, so definitely if they are the birds which feed on meat, then it has to be some animal there, right? So the mother owl, she was concerned about a baby and she bought food for them. Okay, and where did she keep that food? In the mosquito net. So she was not at all believing the writer. Okay, see, the writer here is having the emotional attachment with these owlets. Okay, both of them. But the mother is not having that trust on the writer. Why is she not having? Because it might be that she do not believe. All of a sudden you cannot believe anybody, and that to a bird and a human. That particular link is something which is very different. It really takes time to develop a relationship, right? Whether it is between a human being, and now the case is what? A human being and what? A bird. So here we can say that the slight swing in the trusting factor of the owl is seen. Which owl? The mother owl. Okay, so she thinks that she is not trusting the writer who is acting as a foster parent. Okay, foster parent here means one who takes care of a child without being the child's legal parent. Okay, the young birds thrived, and 10 days later grandfather and I took them into the garden to release them. I had placed one on a branch of the mango tree. As I told you children that in this story we will acquaint some of the natural things also, right? And was stooping to pick up the other when I received a heavy blow on the back of the head. A second or two later, the mother owl swooped down and at grandfather, but he was agile enough to duck out of the way. Now here see, 10 days these owlets stayed with the writer, okay, in the house. But now since the writer knows that these are the birds and they cannot stay as how humans stay, so he and his grandfather thought to release them. Now what is the place where they stay? Definitely they will be staying on a tree only. So the chapter started from veranda, right? They spotted the owl in the veranda. Okay, so definitely you can see here there is a huge garden, a very big garden here. You can see there is a very big garden. This is the grandfather, this is the writer, right? These are the two owlets here. So one owlet, the first one here, right? So the writer thought to place him where? On the branch of the mango tree, right? And this one is the second one, right? So here what exactly is happening? They are in both grandfather and the writer are in the feeling of releasing both of the owlets, but what exactly happened was this female owl, that is the mother owl, she was not in that condition and she just came with a, she just swooped down with a speed, and that speed was like a very fast speed, and it was in a attacking mode kind of, okay. Because see, as we knew in the previous paragraph that this mother owl is not trusting these humans, okay. So when there is no trust, obviously there is a feeling of some inconvenience, okay. So here she is not having that belief or trust, and she is thinking that I don't know whether they are hurting my children, that is the owlet, the baby owlet, okay. So she just, without thinking anything, that is who, the mother owlet, without thinking anything, she just swooped down at grandfather, right. But grandfather was agile enough. What is the meaning of agile? He was so confident, and he was so agile that he was able to move quickly, so that it cannot, that the speed of the owl do not hurt him in any manner, right. Suppose if the owl is coming like this, definitely it will come here and it will do what? It will hurt my face. But what I am doing is, when I know that it is coming like this, and if I do like this, definitely the owl will go there, okay. So I have done what? I have protected myself. So here the grandfather was very agile, and he just ducked himself, okay. So duck himself means what? Just to bring himself out from that particular place, so that it is not dangerous for him, okay, so that he is not at all in the position to get any kind of injury, okay. So let's switch to page number 110. Quickly, I placed the second owl under the mango tree. So the first owl was placed where? Here children, the first owlet was placed on the branch of mango tree, right? And the second one under the mango tree. Right, so here we got the position where exactly the child was thinking of placing these two owlets. Then from a safe distance we watched the mother fly down and led her offspring into the long grass at the edge of the garden. We thought she would take her family away from our rather strange household, but the next morning I found the two young owlets perched on the hat stand in the veranda, right? Now here see, the child thought, the writer thought that okay fine, maybe that, see, their natural home is on tree only, so it may be that the owlets as well as the mother owl has gone away, right? They have gone in their own world, that is in the natural world, but they were not sure about it. And the next morning they found that both of them, that is the owlet as well as the mother owlet, were there in the garden only, and to his surprise, that is to the child's surprise, he saw that the owlet, both of them were doing what? They were just perching on the hat stand. Now hat stand is particularly that place where you keep your hat, okay? So it was in the veranda. I ran to tell grandfather, and when we came back we found the mother sitting on the bird bath a few meters away. She was evidently feeling sorry for her behavior the previous day, because she greeted us with a soft woo woo. Now here the writer is saying that I saw this sight, that the owlets were sitting on the hat stand. I called my grandfather, I ran away inside and I called my grandfather. As soon as my grandfather came, we saw what? We saw that the mother, like, see, this is the feeling, the emotions between what? Human and the bird. So here the writer, children, he is able to understand that the mother owl is now feeling very sorry for her behavior, that she swooped down in a high speed towards whom? Towards the grandfather, when the previous day when they were when they came to release the owlet. But now what exactly happened? The owlets are sitting on the hat stand and the mother herself is there and she is sitting, and the way she is looking is what he is judging, who the writer is judging, and saying that when I saw her, whom the mother owl, it seemed that she was feeling sorry and she was trying to say sorry for her behavior the previous day. Okay. Now there is an unselfish mother for you, said grandfather. It's obvious she wants us to keep an eye on them. They are probably getting too big for her to manage. Now, seeing that particular situation, the grandfather told, what he told, he said, now there's an unselfish mother for you. Till now, he was thinking that the mother is selfish. Obviously, that the mother will be selfish. Why? Because she was not able to trust the human. But now the situation is totally different. So what the grandfather came to know from that situation was that the mother owl is wanting grandfather and this child to take care of the owlets because they are growing day by day and it is very difficult for her to manage with her kids. Okay. So the owlet became regular members of our household and were among the few pets that grandmother took a liking to. She objected to all snakes, most monkeys and some crows. We had all of these for pets from time to time, but she took quite a fancy to the owlets and frequently fed them spaghetti. Right? So here grandfather, the child, it is the writer himself, and now the grandmother is also taking care or interest in taking care of the owlet. Okay, and the grandmother is having that connection. She have built so far the connection between the owlet and grandmother is so strong, right, that grandmother used to feed them with what? With spaghetti. Spaghetti is what? A kind of noodle, a white starchy pasta of Italian origin that is made in the form of long strings. That is kind of some noodles. Okay, not noodles but broad noodles, you can say. Noodles are something which is very thin like Maggi, but spaghetti is something different. So they were having that particular taste. Who? The owlets. Okay, and the grandmother used to feed them with the spaghetti. They seemed to like spaghetti. In fact, the owls became so attached to grandmother that they began to display affection towards anyone in a petticoat, including my Aunt Mabel, who was terrified of them. Now see, what here the writer is trying to tell that when the owlet saw anybody in petticoat, they used to think that she is the grandmother. And they used to think, okay fine, she is the grandmother, it means that we will be fed now with what? With spaghetti. So whenever they spotted anybody in petticoat, they used to think that she is the grandmother, may it be anybody. Okay, but for them, anybody in petticoat was to be who? The grandmother. Now this writer's, right, this child's aunt, her name was Mabel, Mrs. Mabel. She was very afraid of who? The owlet. Okay. Aunt Mabel would run screaming from the room every time one of the little birds sidled up to her in a friendly manner. So she was kind of very terrified. Who? Aunt Mabel. Forgetful to the fact that grandfather and I had reared them, the owls would sometimes swell their feathers and peck at anyone in trousers. To avoid displeasing them, grandfather would often slip into one of grandmother's petticoat at feeding time. I compromised by wearing an apron and this appeared to satisfy them. So children, this is a very hilarious kind of a time, or you can say this paragraph is, here the writer is giving the ease. Okay, he is trying to make the readers laugh by saying that sometimes the condition was that whenever I and my grandfather went to the owlets, they used to, swallow their feathers, and they used to terrify us, or they used to make us get frightened up. Okay, but what we did was, just to make the things pleasant and comfortable, my grandfather used to wear petticoat and I used to wear what? Apron, so that the owls could think that okay fine, they are who? They are the grandmother. Why? Because the owlets were having the fantasy, they were in this mania that whosoever is wearing petticoat, it is who? It is grandmother. And just to make them comfortable while feeding, the grandfather sometimes used to wear petticoat of my grandmother just to make them comfortable so that they can eat their food. And I used to wear what? I used to wear apron. Okay. In response to grandmother's voice, the owlet would make sound as gentle and soothing as the purring of a cat. But when wild owls were around, ours would rend the night with blood-curdling shrieks. Now here, the writer is saying that whenever my grandmother used to call them, they used to make a very pleasant noise or very pleasant sound they used to bring out. Okay, but whenever they found some other calling them, or whenever they found some other owls around them, they used to get angry, and they used to do what? They used to bring out the sound which would cause some kind of fear. Okay, they loved to sit and splash in a shallow dish provided by grandmother. They enjoyed it even more if cold water was poured over them from a jug while they were in the bath. They would get thoroughly wet, jump out and perch on a towel rack, shake themselves, then return for a second splash and sometime a third. During the day, they dozed on the hat stand. After dark, they had the freedom of the house, and their nightly occupation was catching beetles, the kitchen quarters being a happy hunting ground. With their sharp eyes and powerful beak, they were excellent pest destroyers. Now see children, here the writer is saying that they were very happy. The owlets were very happy in our home, right? My grandmother used to give them a bowl full of water. They used to bathe in it. Okay, they used to bathe in it. Once when they came into that particular bowl, they used to just shake themselves in the water, and they were very fond of cold water. Okay, so they used to take a dip in the water once, twice, thrice, till however how much time they wanted to take, they may take, and till they were not content or satisfied with that dip, they were free. They had the freedom to jump in that particular bowl of water. So they was very cozy, they felt very comfortable. Here the writer is also saying that they did not treat them as owlets. Okay, they treated them as what? The writer, the grandmother, the grandfather treated them as the family member. So they were left free. In the daytime they used to sit on the hat stand, and in the night they used to be free. They were given the freedom to do what? To pray. Okay, so they were kept free to wander around on the terrace, right, and to catch their prey so that they can enjoy their dinner, right? Looking back on those childhood days, I carry in my mind a picture of grandmother in her rocking chair with a contented owlet sprawling on her apron lap. Once, on entering her room while she was taking an afternoon nap, I saw that one of the owlet had crawled up her pillow till its head was snuggled under her ear. Both grandmother and the little owl were snoring. So here the writer says that I do remember my childhood days, and I have literally seen that how exactly my grandmother used to love, or what connection was there between the grandmother and the owlet. It was so cozy connection and emotional connection. The love between them was so pure that I have seen that many a time when my grandmother used to sit on the rocking chair, the owl used to be on her lap and take a nap, and the second owlet used to be on her pillow, and they slept together, they snored together. So this is the writer is trying to explain the pure bond of love between whom the grandmother and the owls. Okay, now with the medium of this story, children, I would also like to say that here we can understand one more thing, and that thing is, may it be superstition of the people, right? People are very superstitious. Not everyone, but there are some of the people who are very superstitious, who have different kinds of superstitions related to this species of what bird? That is owl. Okay. But here the writer is clarifying through the medium of this story that there is nothing which is known as superstitious things when you talk about owls. Okay, owls are very peaceful. Yes, they look very fearful, but yet they are very peaceful. They do not hurt anybody. It's only that for the self-defense they may, but they do not hurt anybody. When you try to develop a relationship with them, when you try to make a bond with them, they are the bestest of your friends and the bestest of that particular part of your life where you really need a friend. Okay, so here with the medium of this story, the writer is trying to say this. So children, I hope you enjoyed the story and you understood the story, right? I will be giving you the word meanings. Most of the word meanings are here in your book, but some of the word meaning, that is a difficult word, will be given to you through this medium, that is through this video only. At the last you will be having what? Some different words with the different meaning. Okay, that is some difficult words. Okay, till then, take care, stay safe, stay happy. Thank you to watch. Thank you once again.